All right, let's get straight to it. Today we're tackling one of the most significant and frankly under-addressed risks to our entire economy. It's a systemic barrier that all starts with a simple PIN code. This is a critical briefing on why we have to break that code and why we have to act right now.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll identify the core problem, what we call the birth lottery. Then we're going to quantify its staggering cost. After that, we'll look at a real field-tested solution, and we'll wrap up with a clear leadership mandate for immediate action.
Okay, first things first. We need to get to the root of the issue. We are talking about a systemic barrier to mobility that gets locked in the very moment a person is born.
Think about this. A PIN code. It's more than just a location for mail, isn't it? For millions of people, it's a predetermined outcome. This single number represents what we call the birth lottery, a variable that has way too much influence on a person's entire life potential. So what's the bottom line here? The birth lottery creates a fundamentally uneven playing field from day one. And let me be clear, this isn't just a social issue. No, it is a direct threat to our human capital and a major source of long-term economic instability.
Now, this barrier, it builds into something tangible, something totally unacceptable. This isn't an abstract problem we're discussing. It has a quantifiable, irreversible price tag, one that we measure not in dollars, but in years of human life.
10 years. Let that sink in for a second. That is the scientifically proven deficit in life expectancy between people born into the highest income brackets versus those born into the lowest, a full decade.
And this chart lays out the brutal reality of that cost. It is essentially a 10-year tax for being born into the wrong circumstances, a decade of lost productivity, lost innovation, and lost life that represents an irreversible decline if we don't intervene immediately.
So, how big is this problem, really? Let's dig into the sheer scale of this systemic failure, because understanding just how many people are impacted is absolutely critical to grasping the urgency here.
We have to ask the question, right? Just how pervasive is this trap? How many individuals are locked into a cycle with no clear, viable pathway to mobility?
While the answer is stark, it's unambiguous. A staggering 73% of people remain trapped in the lowest tier of wealth. They are caught in a cycle, completely unable to escape. This isn't a marginal issue, it's a majority reality.
Okay, so we've defined the problem. We've seen the cost. Now let's talk about the solution. And this isn't theoretical. We've developed a primary, actionable, and field-tested strategy designed specifically to mitigate this risk by creating real, tangible pathways for upward mobility. We call it the Security Guard to Software Tester Roadmap. It works in 3 clear phases. Phase 1 is all about establishing foundational skills in a stable entry-level role. Phase 2 is the critical transition, focusing on benchmark skills for something like entry-level IT support. And Phase 3 is where you achieve specialization, building on that IT foundation to land a role like software tester, breaking the cycle and creating a genuine career.
All right, this brings us to the most important part of this entire briefing, the mandate for leadership. This is about what we do now to address this risk head-on.
So let's recap the key takeaways, nice and simple. 1. The birth lottery isn't just a concept, it's a massive socioeconomic risk. 2. That 10-year life expectancy gap, that is the price of doing nothing. 3. A shocking 73% of our people are stuck. But 4, and this is the crucial part, we have a targeted, actionable roadmap that provides a viable solution.
Therefore, the mandate could not be clearer. To secure our future human capital and to mitigate this systemic risk, leadership must adopt these upskilling metrics within the next fiscal quarter. For immediate and standardized implementation, you will use the provided digital system templates. There is no more time for deliberation. Action is required now.